What's up, guys? Max here, and today we just got done with Dimensional Beings for the carinas challenge volume 3. And this is the team that I brought. So as you can see, I have a Gallon, I got CGR, and I got Hercules. Okay. I ended up using Hercules for the initial, what is this, 4 fights, and then right at the marker where you're able to pull them out and switch your champion, I ended up taking out Hercules out and put Hood in. I ended up using Hood for nothing. So basically, I thought I was going to use him for Icarus. Turns out that I could not manage my way to find to best use Hood for Icarus. I probably should have brought something else. Possibly Morningstar, possibly Chavez, from looking at the list of dimensional beings. But ultimately, Hood really didn't help me at all. If anything, I'm not 100% sure if any of these champions help synergize CGR, because ultimately CGR is what I used to clear Icarus. He was doing tons of damage. I'll link my own live stream in the description here below so you can see the entire fights. As it took about a 2-hour stream. I mean, obviously there's a lot of talking back and forth, but overall I felt like this path in this fight, Dimensional Beings, being my third go at the carinas challenge, was probably the easiest. Now I say this, and be cautious with me hearing out my judgment on difficulty and levels of difficulty. I had 2 rounds already in the books under my belt within the same path. As you can see, I have not touched the top left path, or the left path of this map. I've only gone through the right and the right and the right. So because of that, I've been more familiar, and I've done it not back to back, but within the same 24 hours. I went through this path 3 times. So being that it was my 3rd time, it felt the easiest. I felt more comfortable with the champions. I kind of knew what I was expecting. The first go, it was really a learning experience, and I went with the robot option because I felt that was the easiest, and I'm glad I did. And then I went with the Spider-Verse, and then I finished it off before falling asleep and going to bed, it was Dimensional Beings. But here's my basically advice for anybody wanting to do this. So if you look at my first fight, and this is where the fights really begin, because Hercules can just solo those early fights. If you need to see that, kind of like the way I did it, it's in the stream. I would definitely go out and look at that. I do want to just give advice or any tips or anything I can give you from my point of view, so you can kind of better be prepared for this. So when it comes to Craven, ultimately my strategy was to finish this off with Gallon. And the reason why I wanted to finish it off with Gallon, you can go for the solo. You can ultimately go for the solo, and I think CGR is probably going to be the best option for it if you're bringing the team that I brought. But the reason why I wanted to finish it off with Gallon, and I ended up finishing it off with Gallon, was because I wanted it to basically make a CGR a Herald. And in making CGR a Herald, it actually helped a ton to take down these 2 fights right here. CGR was really good at taking these fights. Its Scorpion fight was really easy with him. It was just straightforward, just tons of damage. I ended up, just so you guys know, I was running full recoil tree, and I was running full boost 20. The boost that I had open at the moment, I had a 15 attack boost and a 20% attack boost active. I also had a class 200% cosmic attack boost active as well. And I was basically with Scorpion. It was such a fun fight to do with CGR. Basically, I when you got yourself to a special 2, just nuke them. I think it took it can easily take 2 to 3 revives if you do a mistake. But yeah, it was fun. CGR, it was the way to go. Icarus, I went, and like I said, I brought Hood into my team because I felt like that was the option and the best option for me based off my deck. And turns out it was the worst thing you can do. If you find somebody else on YouTube on showcasing how Hood is really good based off the nodes that are found in this specific Icarus, then I would say take advice from them and look at that guide. but ultimately CGR did the fight for me. He was doing the most damage. There was a lot of kind of learning when it comes to how to fight Icarus. Basically, what I ended up doing, just to talk you through it, I waited for Icarus to either counter me or attack me with his heavy. I countered with my heavy, and then I went for a 5-hit light ending combo, giving me power, dashed in with another 5-hit medium ending combo, and then just spammed a special 2, keeping in mind I'm fully boosted, recoil setup, and a 200% power back gave me tons of power, almost immediately ready to go for another special 2. Not all the way, did a combos, launch another one, and that's kind of the way you just take them down. I didn't get much, I didn't get no solos on here, but that was probably my best option in taking Icarus down. It felt so good. I mean, after trying Hood multiple times, and I was just like asking the chat, I was like, dude, how is this possible? Like, how are people doing this with Hood? I just couldn't figure it out, and CGR ended up just bringing in some raw hard damage and ended up doing this fight very good for me. When it comes to Penny, Gallon, you have Gallon in the team. That is why you brought Gallon. This is why I brought Gallon. This is why you're going to be bringing Gallon. And Gallon, just easy fight. Obviously I made some mistakes. If you're looking at the live stream, I made some mistakes on this fight, but easy fight. I messed up with one of the harvest. It expired. It would have been like tons of damage, and easily would have done probably 2 or 3, and then obviously I would have got KO'd. But I think you can definitely do this with maybe 2 to 3 revives, if that. You know, if you're really proficient at using Gallon with Penny, the way you just want to do is you don't worry about the power drains. Just hit Penny. If you want to work on building, taking off her shield, definitely do that. And then just heavy counter her. It's easy to heavy counter her. You'll see that on the stream. But Gallon is what you want to be using here. And again, just to summarize it, wanted to finish this fight with Gallon, but you can use CGR. You can also use Hood, by the way. This is actually where I did use Hood with a special 2, but again, very tricky. I think it's just me using Hood, to be honest. So hear me out on the Hood situation. If someone puts out a video on Hood and he's amazing for this path, then look at that video. But here, CGR, 100% CGR. Again, 100% CGR, and then Gallon. And then when it comes to Thanos, I was just throwing my entire team to him, and CGR was the freaking best again for him. I had Hood, CGR, and Gallon. CGR was the best, and it was, if you watch the stream, it was actually comical watching me try to finish him off at that last 20%. It was either midnight, very late at night, and this is when you shouldn't be doing content like this, especially new and difficult content, but I was, because you know, it's freaking MCLC and it's new content dropping on the first day. But that's my advice. Like I said, I'll have the fights in my description of the live stream. Feel free to forward, you know, in there and catch it. But that Hercules, 100% for this if you have them. Boosted, full recoil setup. Pretty much ended up using full recoil for everything. Didn't take those masteries off, and boosted was what I went through. Again, most of my champions you're seeing here below are going to be rank 4 champions. Gallon is rank 3, Hood was rank 3, CGR was the only one that was rank 4 out of my list of champions. Hope this helps somebody out there. Drop a like, drop a comment in the description. Truly helps the channel. If you're not subscribed, I would appreciate it if you did. And if you're watching this in the future, I hope to make maybe something a little bit better, but I did want to put this out right away. Take care, guys. Good luck in the Carinas challenge. Wish you the best. Peace.